Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. So everything is just very quiet at the moment. Even Agora is relatively quiet. The proposal section on Station is also relatively quiet, and this is actually a good thing, because what's happened is we've shed off all of the dead weight, all of the non-believers, so to speak, or people that are just not in it for the long run. They don't really believe in the projects. They don't believe in the system. They were just simply there for gains and the possibility of something crazy happening and it going to the moon. But in a sense, if we actually look at the original run that we made, it was around a 13x in price. So for instance, let's say an investor put, I don't know, $20,000 down, okay, at that time. That's a serious amount of gains just simply from that. No, it's not taking you to the moon, but that could simply pay for a new mortgage, or you could just buy a house outright in certain countries. Stuff like that. I mean, in certain places you could buy quite a lot with that money. So to some may not seem like a lot, but to others, depending on your situation, your location, what you're into and things like that, it could be life-changing money. So we do always need to think and look back that we have been in the limelight once before. We have made runs once before. And if everybody remembers, it was really quiet. And of course it's going to be quiet because people, they want to see gains, and they want to see gains today, not tomorrow, not next week, not in an hour. They want it now. And if they can have it now, they'll get it now. And it's that kind of mentality. So now we're down to the real strong supporters, the people that are here for the long run, the people that are actually building for the blockchain, and seeing that we are relatively quiet. We'll be getting onto that poster at the end, folks. Everything's just really quiet, and what I'm seeing is people are knuckling down that are still in LUNC, and they're getting on with things. And if you remember, when I came back, it was like Twitter wars. It was like, who can have the last say, who can outspeak someone, who can make themselves look better, or have the stronger opinion that more people agree with. And it just never seemed to have got anywhere. We had that podcast and things just seem to have changed since then. People are not warring on Twitter. People are actually doing their jobs. They're not sitting there tweeting day in, day out. Changes have been made. We've lost lead developers that have walked away. And guess what? We're hitting parity this month. Things are going good. And the thing is, right, like I was saying, it's quiet, and it's always going to be quiet leading up to these big impulse moves. If you look across the board in the DeFi sector and you just search LUNC, you can find a few articles saying we're on the verge of a huge breakout. And it's pretty obvious with all of the projects that we've got going on at the moment being so low in price, these projects all coming to a very important point. Metaglory are launching, Exodus is launching, Lunar Burning Nights is launching. If we now look around the cryptoverse, the crypto space, the other crypto communities, where are we on par with? Well, you could put us in comparison to SHIB with burn coins. We're into metaverses. Well, SHIB's banking on SHIB, the metaverse, to give Shiba Inu coins, Bone, Leash, Shibarium a use case. Well, guess what? We've got 3, not 1. We've got 3, and we haven't got Bone, Leash, Shibarium, etc., etc. We've got LUNC and USTC. We've got something strong, and with the USTC repeg, right, reaching parity, things are going to be changing so fast that we're not going to be able to keep up with it here on the channel. We're not going to be able to keep on top of all of the different things that are going on, and it's going to get insane. Like I was saying, there's going to be so many proposals once we hit parity, but because we've got to agree to all of these interconnections. But I honestly believe now is a crucial time. When people say to me, and obviously we don't give financial advice here, but so many people are, when's the best place and time to buy? Well, you don't buy when we're all the way up here, do you? You don't buy when it's like running. And we always get the same thing. As soon as it starts running by 100%, people saying, oh, should I buy? Is it going to keep going? And it's like, you should have bought the dip, and then you should have bought the dip of that dip. And it's always one of those things. And people like CZ Binance is I think one of the strongest statements on Twitter he's ever made is, if you can't hold, you'll always be poor. And that's kind of it's a bit savage, but at the same time, a lot of people that chase green consistently lose money. And I did a thing recently, and I'm still to do a video on it, because so many people are like asking me, oh, should I buy Pepe? Should I buy Pepe? And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to throw a very small amount of it from my staking rewards that I've built up over the course of a couple of months into Pepe to show people like what happens when you buy into hype. It's you become somebody else's exit liquidity, and that's always the issue with meme coins, is if it doesn't have a use, eventually it's kind of like these burn coins that you see across the crypto space. Once the hype dies down, once people stop buying those coins, trading those coins, and it's done what it's done, the hype's over, they all kind of end up the same, which is, it's sad to say that, but it does happen. And then you've got projects like Project Lunc, for example, which is, you know, really kind of big-headed for me to say right now. But ultimately, this project, it doesn't require the continuation of hype, sales and things like that. It just requires the one-time mint out, and then you've got a consistent burn forever. And you can elaborate on that. You can obviously, you know, release more NFTs, or you can come up with more elaborate ways to play with funds that you've got, so to speak, with liquidity pools. But that's all different stuff. For once USTC, we've got USTC right to a point of where it's a working system and we can harness the mint to burn feature, because I can tell you now, for one thing, the likelihood of that feature making a return, you know, it's highly likely. There's a tweet from Do Kwon, I think last year around the 7th month into the year, if I remember rightly, and he actually says outright, you know, the day will come when things come to light, USTC will pretty much be restored and Alameda will be, you know, held accountable for what they did. And I think this is all something that falls into getting a good legal team in the future, because that is something that, you know, they are responsible for. There's high evidence there to prove that this all happened, and, you know, everything does come out in the wash eventually. I think that's a good way to look at something like this. Obviously not everything comes out in the wash, but, you know, I think this is one of those things where eventually we're going to get to a point where we're so strong that we can actually make a move like this, and it could benefit our blockchain greatly. And it's this whole idea of repegging USTC, and a lot of people just simply see the gains from repegging USTC and don't think about what it actually means for our blockchain. Well, it means LUNC would do what Luna did back in 2021, right, where it was 32 pence a coin, and then it jumped all the way to $116 a coin. Why? Because of USTC, because of the mint to burn feature, because of the way the system was built. We fix the system, we restore USTC, we're more than likely going to solve all of our problems. And you see all of these little haters from the old guard, but, you know, if you were ever part of LuncDAO's Twitter spaces they used to hold with all of the different people, like Cephii, yes, Cephii, they were all saying, oh, you know, if you repeg USTC, you'll solve all your problems. And all of a sudden, a repeg comes forward and it's like, yeah, no, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't do this, because nobody wants to see LUNC become the center point again, because USTC's in our sector, on our side of the blockchain. So it's very, you know, could they realistically just go, well, you know, we're going to take it back? I don't think so, because of the legal issues that would then come with that. Because they created a new coin, it would be some corporate BS, to tell you the truth. But we'll have to see how things pan out. But like I was saying at the beginning of this video, it's so important that people understand what we're in right now. This is like the time you build, the time when you start thinking about your long plays. I remember when I first got involved with LUNC, the amount of people that bought Luna Punks at a very cheap price, and then all of a sudden I saw all of those Luna Punks flooding back into the market 3, 4, 5, 6 months later when the price of LUNC had run up. And it's just, I sat there and thought to myself, you know, there's opportunities everywhere in crypto, and you can't control those opportunities. All you can do is utilize them. You can only use the tools that are provided to you by all of these different people that are in our sector. And there's loads of amazing people in our sector. There's not just people like myself, Straff Cole, all of the Lunc burn people, and, you know, there's so many more people that are so heavily underrated in this community, hugely underrated. Hopefully everybody's going to start getting under one banner. You're seeing more of a on-point voting system right now. We seem to be moving in the direction that the community actually wants it to move in. You're not seeing a lot of friction. You're not seeing a huge amount of backlash. You're just seeing them same people trolling, doing the same things, but people are just ignoring it. And guess what? Everything's just going smoothly. You're not seeing drama on Twitter. You're not seeing people going, oh, I'm exiting this because, you know, things have gotten silly. You know, the trust is coming back. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a real positive sentiment in the community, and those that buy low and sell high are the ones that win ultimately. So at the end of this video, folks, I can't let you know, but there is an Easter egg roaming around our Telegram groups. The links to those are in the description. There is an Easter egg. In that Easter egg contains some information. That information will allow you to find out when this is launching. But during the minting process, we're doing a mint off, and we've got together 3 prize pools pretty much. So as you can see, we've got first place, second place and third place, and those winners will be announced after the mint out. So this is pretty much the people who mint the most penguins, so to speak, or hatch the most penguins, I think would be a better wording. So keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited. If you haven't seen the Project Lunc burn videos from yesterday, go back, have a watch, show your grandmas, show everybody. Get involved if you can, support if you can, share if you can, like, comment, subscribe, do all of those things, folks. I'm still here supporting LUNC. You're still here supporting LUNC. Let's move forward together. Have a really nice day, wherever you are. Beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers, beware of anybody pretending to be me. And none of this is financial advice. We'll catch you in the next one.